What's up, word warriors? Setting it off. So this tutorial is on opening your book in the most dynamic way that you possibly can. One thing that I've learned from writing and rewriting is you really need to open your book with a bang. Nobody wants a really slow start to a book. You have to think about captivating, luring the reader into your story. So here's the biggest challenge is you have developed this concept, this cast of characters. You've come up with, you've generated an outline. And now, your initial response as the writer is to try to make people understand the story, plow, all at once. And I think that's the biggest mistake most novice writers make, is trying to give the reader too much information in one sitting. And it's usually in that first chapter. So I want to try to navigate you around that mistake and stress to the importance of opening the book in a high action, dramatic way. And then you have to understand, once you grab the reader's attention, you can start filling in the blanks as you go. You don't need to do that right off. The only thing that you need to do in the beginning is to grab attention. You're not going to do that with some flowery description and background information. That needs to be done with intense dialogue and presenting the reader with a situation that makes them interested in knowing the rest of the story. So just to give you an example of this, take it up a notch. This is my reference book. Not just my outline, but my reference book for I Evolve, the series that I'm writing right now. Beautiful, isn't it? I'm quite proud. I've got my outline in here. I've got all of my world building. I've got all of my character profiles. Everything in an easy, accessible book that I can reference as I'm writing. So I really encourage you. It's just a 3-ring binder, okay, with dividers in it. And it this is actually the cover of the book. It's just an easy way for me to access all of this information that I have constructed over the last year. So I really encourage you to do the same thing. The files on the computer, the note cards, all of these other things are great, but I need something that's accessible, something that I can carry with me in my laptop, something that I can have sitting on my desk that I can flip through. And I actually just came up with this idea a few weeks ago, and I'm really going to encourage you to do the same with all of your ideas for your book. Go ahead and print them up and get them in a 3-ring binder so you've got them there. You can flip through these ideas as you're writing. So anyway, designing that first chapter, your opening chapter to the book, is so essential. It's so essential to grabbing the reader, grabbing an agent, a publisher. There's nothing that's more important than that opening chapter. It's a lot of pressure to put on a writer, Just think of any of the great movies that you've ever seen. There's so many different ways that you can approach this idea. But I think it's the one thing that kind of needs to be sticking in the back of your head is, what is the most emotional and evocative situation that I can draw someone into this story. That's what you need to be thinking about when you open your book. What is the most evocative, emotional, the thing that's going to trigger an emotional response in the reader? That's how you want to open your book. The rest you can fill in. You can implement and add into as you go into the story. But that opening line, the first sentence, yes, you heard it. The first sentence should not be, the sunrise was painted a mandarin orange with a fuchsia pink, blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to hear that, okay? Your first sentence needs to grip the reader. You know, on the day I was killed. What? Main character was killed? What happened there? I gotta know. On the day my house burned down. Or my parents died. You get my point. That first sentence should hold a tremendous amount of weight to make the reader, they gotta know. They gotta know. And so your first chapter should then think about that first opening sentence in reference to everything that you've already built. And then develop a chapter around that. I'm just trying to shortcut y'all. I'm trying to take everything that I've learned in the 15 years that I've been writing professionally, religiously. This is what I do. I do my regular job and I do this. I don't want you to struggle like I've struggled. I don't want you to have to be rejected as I've been rejected. I'm not saying I can save you from that, but I am saying that this information, these secrets that I'm giving you, will definitely minimize that part. You can go from nobody's paying attention to your work to at least you're getting read. At least you are getting big agents to read your work before they reject you and they give you their feedback. Though you say there's two different kinds of rejection, and there's the rejection that you just never hear from the agent. They're not even going to give you the time of day. That's like the worst rejection. Then there's the rejection. This is the only kind I've actually ever encountered, which has given me lots of hope, which is I get told everything that's right with my writing. And then I get told the things that are wrong. But here's the thing. Here's the big industry secret. Is that if someone is actually taking the time to tell you what's wrong, it's because you've got a lot of right going on. So they're just trying to tell you what to do to refine it. And I am trying to disclose that to you right now. Make that opening chapter intense. Think of the opening of every great movie you've ever seen. It's like that. Get the reader invested. Invested. Know what that means. That means they gotta know. They gotta know right now. What's going on here? Don't give it to them all at once. Don't take the mystery away. The mystery is what makes them read more beyond chapter 1. So I want you to take your outline, your character development, your character profiles. I want you to take that last chapter that hopefully you wrote, and then I want you to gauge, okay, this is where the story ends. This is realistically where the story should begin. And I want you to write something that is going to get the reader invested. Speak to their heart, speak to their emotion. Start with the most intense one-line opening to the book that you can. Something that is going to grab them and hold them. That's the way to open a book. That is the way to really captivate the reader. You know, you may start with a first draft and it sounds real good. You know, get it out. Go back over it 2 or 3 times. Keep refining it until you get it to where you'll know, you'll know. If I was reading this, I wouldn't be able to put it down. That's where you want it to go. That's what you want the reader to feel, that they have to know where this story is going. So go ahead and get that opening chapter started, and then I will continue to talk you through developing your outline into a novel. Until then, happy writing. Namaste.